Start recording. Do you have the questions pulled up, Nathan, or do you want me to pull them up?
Yeah, I got them. Yeah, okay. So we can go ahead and start going. This week was nice for me at least. I felt like it was kind of a return to some of the earlier ones we had, where it was a little bit more clear cut, at least for the problems itself. So I'll just go ahead and start with my position and situation analysis. Um, so position, I said, through a mix of tough economic times and a bad work environment, the general surgery unit of EMU has become synonymous for disorganization, contention, and overall a miserable place to work. Barbara, a new leader, has been tasked to turn around the unit and to do it fast by the individual hiring her. Working about what she can do, Barbara must find a way to change the culture of GSU through creating SMART goals for her team, through one-on-ones and follow-up meetings, as well as meetings with other leaders to see how they have created work environments in which Barbara loved to be a part of. This will enable her to see what has worked for others in the past and to be able to share insights into this situation of the GSU for better ideas. So for the situation analysis, I just put that Barbara, a tenured nurse, has spent time at EMU and has received a great promotion to lead a troubled department, the general surgery unit. Barbara wanted to take this opportunity to make the department better and like the other departments in the organization, but upon hearing what her new boss said, she secretly worried that she had taken on too much to handle. Upon seeing firsthand the mess the GSU was in, Barbara chose to have an off-site, which there could be an open conversation. This resulted in nurses sharing many negative feelings and emotions, and with Barbara with a list of issues she knew she had to handle but didn't know where to start.
I think that's a pretty darn good overview. My main thing that, like I said, a little bit different was the things that, um, obviously all the same thing for the problems that they're going through. And then I thought that for what she could do, like on top of one-on-ones and learning from other people, she could do the four things that Harvard had set out to help people be more productive at work and more motivated. And by doing those four things, she could help implement those. And so then um, the people would feel happy about coming to work and that they would have motivation, they'd be compensated well enough, and they would fight for their job and they would have a sense of belonging. Um, and that as they accomplished those four things, that it would slowly turn around the people that worked there, which then would turn around the care that they gave to their patients, so then they'd start getting better reviews and better feedback.
I'd say for me, the position is that Barbara was warned not to take the position by the other nurse manager, Betty. She told her not to take it because of the heartache and the headache it causes, but she wanted the position to advance in her career. She wanted a challenge, and she felt like this would be the perfect choice for her. After a week, she realized she realized what Betty was talking about. There was so many things that she remembered hearing about, but she actually got to experience it firsthand. She is now hearing a lot of complaining, gossiping, etc., and the other nurses aren't doing anything about it. They want to just complain and not get anything done. Barbara wants to get things done and make her unit the best unit the university has ever seen. The situation is the nurses are complaining about the organization. They feel gypped. They feel outraged. They're not happy with the way the university is running the place. They also feel underappreciated for what they are doing. They also feel like their jobs are basically taking care of computers and not patients. The only reason why they took the job was to be around patients, not machines. And as Barbara was listening to what was being said, she took it into consideration, going through her notes, trying to just think of how she can help the nurses and just know that their voices are being heard and know how to move forward with this situation.
Um, for me, I can say that she was the greatest choice for this position because her late mother was a nurse, so she can handle this position well. And the meeting that she organized was the best choice for her position because she can be she can know what challenges that she will face in the future and what things she has to change in her department, etc.
Well, I feel like for the situation from the hospital that position put like what they need to change like all the problems because she was like now the leader for the travel for the travel unit, so she needs to change a lot of things. Needs be more like decisive person, like needs to get the decision for her staff and be like talk and try to get more positive actions and emotions in their culture, like responsibility, punctuality. So maybe she needs to talk about them, about that. Also, she needs to talk about the situation. If the people not change their mind, she needs to choose and get more people. So I put that in situation that she needs to get or change all the culture in their unit and get more like um, uh, direct with the people.
Awesome. Yeah, this is a great one. I think I say it every week. This is one of my favorite ones that I think we did. Just because it's simple. There's only like 4 or 5 pages, I think, but everyone's come away with similar but different things. So I'm gonna combine both my objectives and goals and action plan. You guys can do that if you want. You don't have to. So my objectives and goals were to create one SMART goal, which is something that's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based for everyone in the general surgery unit through formal one-on-ones and establish a better culture, and to also show that there needs to be movement towards a solution. And my second objective or goal is to meet with other department leads to see what team building exercises have worked in their areas and implement similar activities when SMART goals have been met, and to bring everyone on the same page and realize they're on the same team working towards the same goal. In my action plan, I put meet with each team member in one-on-ones after the offsite, discuss the issues that they brought up specifically and let them brainstorm on how they can be a part of the solution. Work with them to create a SMART goal written out and set expectation that they should be measurable changes by next meeting in a month. Meet with each person again, provide feedback regarding their goal as well as the general performance to allow growth in their position in their team. The second action plan I have is to schedule time with the directors. There we go. Schedule time with the directors and allow there to be a conversation. The GSU is known for being a bad area, so these leaders will know why these questions are being asked, work to find solutions that can be adapted to the general surgery unit, or ways the general surgery unit to get to a point that they can bond more as a team. Share with them what SMART goals that your team has been working on and how they can better be tailored through the eyes of other leaders.
Sorry, I got kicked off. What are we going over right now? This one's
No, you're good. I just went over, I combined my action plan and evidence just since they're
Okay,
really
nice.
tightly
Yeah.
connected. You guys can do
Yeah.
that too, or you can split them up. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll do that too. So for my action plan, on the Harvard piece where it went over like the 4 different things, there was all that I think it was called evidence section. I don't know. It was right next to the other part where it said like what you should do to, accomplish all four of those things. So for my action plan, I kind of had just changed it for the scenario of, what they said of how you could accomplish those four things. Um, and then it was actually interesting. I didn't think this was gonna happen, but I just looked up like the four things to motivate workers, and there was a whole bunch of different articles not by Harvard that were kind of on the similar thing that they said all the exact same four things, and so then I was just able to pull from those for my evidence of how it would work and why it would work because it's kind of a well-known thing, I guess, that those are the four ways to help motivate your employees and to kind of turn them around.
I put down that like what some of the nurses were saying was to give them feedback. Because how are they supposed to know if they're doing something right or wrong unless they get the feedback? That way they can also know what they're doing. Give the nurses an idea of what their jobs are going to be like, especially now in this day and age. Some are stuck in the past where it was paperwork, not computers and other papers. Teach them the new ways, help the doctors to see that the nurses are there to help them. They're not there to be their slave or their tax taker or personal copy getter or whatever they were calling it. Barbara, I love what Barbara was saying, how she says, you know what, how about if I have a meeting when things are going on and have everybody else help her with the decision making. So if something wants to be changed, then she should bring it to them, and that way they can make the decision too. So that way it's all of them. Also, it kind of gives accountability to them as well. And then, like for instance, like how she said, like hire someone outside or use a nurse in the unit, the pay increase, and then also have the nurses ask questions as well. If they don't know something or they would like to know, ask, then someone will find out and they'll have a question basically within like the next 24 hours. The action plan, just if there is going to be feedback, then the nurses need to listen and take it into consideration and try to work on whatever it is and not feel like they're being insulted or anything. When the nurses are asked to do something, like the job description, make sure that the people like know exactly what's in the job description, and especially with the people that have been there for years and years and years. Maybe have them learn new courses and have them learn new things. So that way they aren't kind of stuck in the past and they're actually moving forward with the new technology. I've kind of just also said like have the doctors come in and watch the nurses on like a task or something like that, or on a daily basis, just to like shadow them to see like what they do, and that way they're not seeing them as just there. They can see them as their equal, and then also just try to help the doctors understand that they need to not belittle them and to be more open to the nurses and their help, and they are there. They have had their training. They know what they're doing. They're not just someone that they can boss around and degrade. And then for evidence, it was actually kind of interesting as well, because I was reading up actually on the doctors, and like it actually happens a lot. It says about 300 nurses in the U.S. were surveyed, and they all felt like they were being undervalued as a nurse by the doctor. The reason is basically the conflict is because of personalities, which I didn't know. I guess they clash, and so then the doctor needs to be behind the nurse, and the nurse needs to be behind the doctor. Also, patients will suffer, as we also heard as well in the thing. So.
For me, I can say that she can do meetings for the nurses or formation, like you said in America, and where she will learn medical assistance, communications, and some technical formation, because they will be up to date with new technologies, medical technologies, sorry, and other things, other stuffs like that, when will be their turn to be at the, I don't know how to say it in English. Um, I when it will be their turn to be behind the computer, when they will meet the patients and other stuffs like that, they will not have any problem with that, and so the enrollment can do better. Each of them will have the opportunity to have 1 day off or 2 days, I don't know, but the necessity is the fact that everyone feels well at their job and install some stuffs where where they have the opportunity to have some motivations, like if remuner remuneration when their job is doing well or other things like that. You understand?
As a goals and objects, like the action plan, to work on that, I put like the the grill or change the system that they have in the hospital with attention and communication between the people, and there also get meetings to talk about the problems and different situations. They need they need to have like a good leader to have the solutions for them. So also Barbara needs to get respect. So she needs to show that like with different things, like with her experience, with her um, solution problems or different things that the people notice or recognize that she had experience, that she's a like good leader. So I put um, like a communication with the people and treatment because they have like a bad reputation, so they need to focus on that. Um, so this is so important because the people know normally like if they don't know something about the place, they maybe will like try to get some like reviews or something like that. If they have like a bad reviews or bad comments about the place, they like probably the place or the hospital or that unit. Um, Maybe the people like will be will be like fired of their job, so they need to change their mind. Also, if they change, they can change the mind of the people and the customers. Also, they need to they grew the system that I like before I said the system with between them, also with the doctors or other nurses or the other units. So this is that I put there.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. All right. So for my evidence, I put it is a well-known fact that workers feel respected when management takes their input in a goal setting. As a matter of fact, workers perform 3 times better when they know that their organization listens to their voice. This is a huge increase that just comes from allowing others to be involved in the goal-making process. Allowing your team to have a stake in their progression will show them they're valuable enough to listen to and take the time to help improve. The second piece of evidence I put is without valuing input from others, you are only asking for past mistakes to be needlessly repeated. The leader who charges ahead and makes decisions without asking for input from others contributes to employee discouragement. And by doing things that have been done before and failed, or by doing things that could be out of place without careful foresight, Barbara could harm her image as a leader of the GSU and in turn lose the ability to turn the department around. By listening to those who lead departments that she enjoys, she can learn what best works as well as experience new ideas to bring back to the GSU for growth rather than by going by trial and error and effective team building.
Nice. For me, the main two risks that I said that could happen would be that the people above her in the hospital, that they would not agree to compensate all of the employees because they're too worried about going under. And then that would hurt them because then they wouldn't be able to do that key piece that they need to be motivated to go to work, because they wouldn't be getting compensated well enough, and so they need to figure out what the averages are of the other hospitals, and find out what they're getting paid, what they're paying for those positions, and then they need to pay that or just a little bit above, just so they can quickly turn around um, the situation that's going on right now. And then the second one I said that could happen is there's a couple older people that are working there and they seem to be pretty stuck in their ways. So they might not really accept the change. Even though they don't necessarily like what's going on, they could still not necessarily like that they're going to have to change. And so then they put a lot of stress on her and the rest of the team. And so just making sure that anybody who's not willing to change and try something new, that they understand what they're doing and what could be the consequences of that.
Alright, for the evidence, and I'll even do a little bit of the risk management. But like I said, with the evidence, about 300 nurses in the U.S. have stated that they feel undervalued as a nurse to the doctor, and because of personality conflicts, they clash. Clinical studies show that having a one-on-one time with the nurse helps them with their confidence and their competence. They will be able to do their jobs better. I think that was for the like if they need to like talk to somebody, it's better to have that as well. Learning the nursing procedures is a lifelong process, kind of like what Stratton was saying. If you are in nursing, you are in it for life, and it's constantly changing. There will need to be a lot of seminars, classes, etc., to learn the nursing procedures. I also put down that doctors will feel what they feel. They need to get off their high horse and be on the same level or find the common ground to be with the nurses, so there isn't any contention or personality differences getting in the way of the patients. They need to work together, have the doctors come in and talk with you and the nurse together. They will need to come up with a plan together on how to make things work better between the both of them. They will need to carry it out and see how they are doing in about 2 weeks. If they aren't getting along, then they will need to do like an intervention together, or go do something like work together, so that way they can be better with that. And then also with the long-time nurses, they need to go to class to learn new ways, probably like every 2 years. If they don't want to do that, then probably put them on probation. And then also have them learn on site, like how to work with things if they're not willing to go to class, but also just kind of like have them on a watchful eye. Just that way they can learn new things with the new nurses, so that way they can learn, like, I guess, the new processes.
For me, I can say that um, she has to do a training session for everyone and a session for the old ones apart to determine the heads of departments who will be at her service. She must choose among those who are succeed brightly, the best after the sessions. And she has to work it for everyone, because it's not acceptable for everyone to work every day without a day off. She has to create a climate of interdependence, so that everyone helps each other and eliminate favoritism within the department. And for me, it will work because they will know that there is someone who thinks for them and on whom they can count. They will know that for every good job, there can be reward. They will know that to succeed in being good nurses, they must take their work seriously and learn to live with others without having to create a climate of tension. Thank you.
All right. I think you're wrong. I think that wraps it up. Is there anything I missed? Is there anything anybody else has to add tonight?
No, I think that's all.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for everything, and we'll go ahead and stop recording.